play. I yield 3 minutes to the former mayor of the city of Somerville, Massachusetts, the gentleman from Massachusetts, Mr. Capuano.
Gentleman from Massachusetts recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I thank the gentleman for yielding. The most legitimate argument I've heard is that we have a deficit and we have to deal with it. That is a fair and reasonable point to make. However, it is not a fair and reasonable approach towards the problem to begin with programs like this. We can't even talk about what we're spending in the Iraq War. We can't talk about any money in the Defense Department or any place else. The first programs we start with are these types of programs. Let me be clear about what this program is. I'm a former mayor in a strong mayor form of government. And we get a fair amount of federal and state money, and we use some of our own money on occasion to buy and rehabilitate property. Sometimes it meant knocking it down. Sometimes it meant making a recreational area. Sometimes it meant building a school, whatever it might be, to improve a neighborhood. And to say this money is not improving neighborhoods is just to be blind. There are stories all over the country of where improvements are being made. I'm not going to argue that every single penny out of this program or any other program has been perfectly well spent. That would be crazy. I have no problem at all looking at this program or any program to come up with things we don't like, to change the rules as to who might be eligible tomorrow, and on and on and on. Those are fine and fair things to say. I'm not going to defend one group or any formula. Those are legitimate things to argue about. But to say that the program doesn't work, and this is where we should start addressing our deficit thing, I think is to be short-sighted. It also says to me, if you don't like the program, that's fine. Then I would strongly suggest that anybody who doesn't like the program pick up the phone to their mayor, to their county administrator, to their governor, and say, send the money back. Every state in the country has gotten money. California has gotten over $886 million. Now, that's not to say, if you don't want it, send it back. Massachusetts only got $106 million. Now, we think it's doing pretty well, so we're going to keep it. But if you don't want it, send it back. Nevada, a much smaller state than Massachusetts, got almost as much money because they got hit harder than we did in this economy. To argue that a few problems that you have, and I'm not even going to suggest that I agree or don't agree, the points are well made. If you don't want one entity, any entity, to get $137 million, fine, let's talk about it. Let's say they don't do it. That's not a problem. If you want to say that we have to change about how this money is being used, fine, let's limit it. Have no problem. But to pretend that a neighborhood, any neighborhood, is well served by ignoring boarded up properties, by saying walk away from your home, walk away from your business, and the neighborhood will recover without you, is short-sighted and wrong. And to pretend that somehow because we're giving this money away, that is an inherent evil in and of itself, ignores all the grants that this government gives away, that other governments give away, not just in housing, but in research, in any number of fields. And again, if you want to cut out all grants, fine. That is a reasonable and consistent argument. But you also then have to cut out tax credits, because we give out billions of dollars in federal tax credit dollars that do the same thing in housing. All I'm saying is if you want to fix the program, fix it. If you want to turn your back on neighborhoods, go ahead and do that, but not with my help.
Gentlelady from Illinois.